All right, folks, give President Trump what he wants right now. And that's the subject of the riff. A month into President Trump's golden age second term, his economic policy has become very clear. Shrink the government and turn the savings over to taxpayers. 2 points stand out here. First up, there's a Doge dividend in the cards, perhaps $5,000 per head from maybe $2 trillion worth of savings, as Elon Musk and company blow up all the waste, fraud, abuse, and corruption endemic to the D.C. swamp. And second, Mr. Trump wants his tax cuts, and he wants them now. And no Republicans in the Senate or the House should stand in the way of these Trumpian priorities. For one reason, they are spectacularly good policies to grow the economy and produce a new blue-collar boom. Second, he's the president. He won the election by a wide margin, carrying the popular vote and all 7 swing states. Therefore, the Congress, and I'm thinking right now the Senate in particular, should give the president what he's asking for immediately. Now, take a listen to the president last night.
I'll be working with the Republican Congress to pass the largest tax cuts in American history. And that includes, obviously, we have to extend the Trump tax cuts, including no tax on tips and hopefully no tax on Social Security and no tax on overtime. And that overtime one is a sleeper because I think a lot of people are going to be spurred on to do a lot of extra work when they hear that.
All right, there's Mr. Trump's explicit list of tax cut promises during the campaign. He just repeated it. He wants promises made, promises kept, and the Republican Congress must give it to him. Trump ran on that commitment to his working class coalition. And let me remind, from President Trump's Truth Social post yesterday, and I will quote, "The House resolution implements my full America First agenda, everything, not just parts of it. We need both chambers to pass the House budget to kickstart the reconciliation process and move all of our priorities to the concept of one big, beautiful bill." End quote. And by the way, Vice President J.D. Vance told CPAC this today. Take a listen.
I actually talked to the president about this yesterday, and he said to me, look, it's very rare that you can get 2 reconciliation bills done in one Congress, which is why he thinks we've got to do a lot with that one big, beautiful bill.
All right. What's more, Mr. Trump has signed on to the idea of a Doge dividend check. Take a listen.
I love it, a 20% dividend, so to speak, for the money that we're saving by going after the waste and fraud and abuse and all of the other things that are happening. I think it's a great idea. 20% would give back a lot of money to the taxpayer. And also it would give an incentive for the taxpayer to go out and report things to us where we can save money.
Additionally, Mr. Trump has warmed up to the idea that a Republican budget resolution should include a plug that would represent at least $1 trillion of Doge savings. Take a listen here.
House Republicans are planning to make cuts to.
Well, I think we're going to take in tremendous tariff money, number one. And number two, you take a look at Doge and you see what's happening. We're saving billions of dollars.
There you go. And once again, I will reference Senator Mike Crapo, the Republican chair of the Finance Committee, who continues to try to persuade people that budget reconciliation rules permit the budget committees to form their own baseline, including a current policy that would score the extended Trump tax cuts as neutral in their deficit impact. And the CBO must react to the Republican budget baseline rather than the other way around. So please give President Trump what he wants and let him have it now. All right?